So thank you very much, Alex, for joining us. And it's a pleasure to have you here with us today. And very special announcement recently with the partnership between the Celsius Network and Horizen. So I'd love to hear more about exactly what you're building with Horizen. What is Celsius Network and why is what you're doing so important?
Sure, thanks for having us. We're definitely excited about all these new technical developments. Just a brief overview of what Celsius is. So we're basically a platform that is built for the community, designed for the community. And our goal is to basically deliver yield or income for people that hold crypto assets. So we currently support about 41 different blockchains and tokens, paying anywhere between 3 or 4% all the way up to 20 something percent of yield. And you can just take your dollars, for example, convert them into stable coins, USDC or USDT, park them with Celsius and earn 10 or 11% on your money, right? Something you can't really do with your bank. So these are things that add utility to all these coins and bring new users, give people more reasons to kind of come and join the crypto community. And so very excited about that. And what we wanted to do with Horizen was really to kind of leverage the ability to be fully transparent, to basically like, I think we issued a joint press release where we talk about triple accounting. So just to explain that, in the traditional world, we rely on auditors like Ernst & Young and Price Waterhouse to basically tell us that this or that financial institution is a good actor and that they are profitable or their numbers are valid. And at the same time, we are paying 5 to 7% of all the GDP in the world to these financial institutions, to the banks, to the investment firms, and so on. So between the auditors and the financial institutions, about 10% of all the productivity in the world is going just to kind of make sure that everybody's telling the truth. And we're moving to a world, a decentralized world, where basically the proof is in the blockchain, right? And since all roads lead to decentralization, I think there's a great opportunity to really create a whole new institution like Celsius and deliver all this value in a fully transparent way where anyone can audit any chain in real time, verify the assets, verify the income, verify that, for example, we distribute 80% of our yield or income to the community, right? All those things could be done with zero proof validation. And our partnership with Horizen is enabling all of that and writing it into a sidechain that kind of guarantees that anyone can come and audit all of our transactions.
Great, that's incredible work. And I'm interested in knowing, how did you first hear about Horizen and this partnership? When exactly did that form, and how did it come about?
So we were looking for a way to basically create this external audit function, which has not been available until now. And we were searching for basically a high-speed independent chain that can deliver that functionality. Obviously, with Ethereum, Celsius run on the Ethereum network for our native token, for the CEL token, but that wasn't a high enough capacity to basically write hundreds of millions of transactions and balances and transfers that we do every day. So we were looking for something that was basically scalable, that could also be, that was already out there in the marketplace, and that's why we chose to partner with Horizen.
And currently you offer ZEN to institutional holders on your platform, and you're integrating that so everyone can can store ZEN on Celsius. Do you have any update of when we can expect being able to hold ZEN on Celsius Network?
Yeah, so we currently do both loans and kind of transactions. You can just reach out to OTC at Celsius.network and basically say, hey, I'm looking to borrow against my ZEN, and you can get that transaction done. So it's not yet in the wallet, but it's already available on our OTC desk, and to both to institutional borrowers and kind of larger borrowers or people who want to borrow dollars against their ZEN the ZEN coin, sorry. And we basically need to finish integration with one of our custodians to add it to the wallet. So that's probably still a few weeks away, but it's coming. It's coming soon. So it's definitely going to be part of our first half of 2021.
Excellent, something for us all to look forward to. And regarding a timeline for this partnership with Horizen, them being a public auditor, when can we expect that to be rolling out?
So we're at alpha right now. I think we should expect the beta launch in January, February, and basically general launch probably in March, something like that. That's kind of the time frame. And again, we're seeing that as a major move forward, because even the fully decentralized platforms in DeFi that most people kind of say, oh, they're fully decentralized. There's a lot of hidden things on those chains that are really not disclosed. Like, for example, how many times the same assets have been borrowed and redeposited, which is the majority of deposits on any of the lending platforms, any of the DeFi lending platforms. So that has inherent risk, for example, and it's almost impossible to verify that or validate that, right? So I think having a fully transparent process in which, again, we want as much disclosure as possible versus we control how much disclosure is available through the protocol. And you really need to be Sherlock Holmes with amazing investigative tools to figure out what's going on. And so it's really all about, are you doing it to hide things, or are you doing it to basically provide full transparency? So I think as more and more money flows into CeFi and DeFi, now it's over $20 billion. We have about $3.5 billion out of that. But as more and more money coming in, I think it's going to be more and more important to have this full transparency across the board.
Before we finish off today, I'd love to just get some thoughts about the future of money and MOIP, money over IP, because you were one of the innovators of VOIP, voice over IP. So I should be thanking you for the reason that we're communicating at the moment over Zoom. So you've had an incredible impact on the world with that technology, and you're a serial entrepreneur. And how did you get into the money over IP space? When did you see that this is the next big thing and make you want to launch Celsius Network?
Yes, I took a look at Bitcoin 2010, 2011, but even before that, I was working on digital money before Bitcoin was even created, right? And I did not come up with the idea for solving the double spend problem, right? So I think a lot of credit goes to Satoshi for really inventing an amazing way for all of us to transact effectively in a safe way over with digital money, right, over the internet. So I just coined the phrase MOIP, or money over IP. And I guess it's a competing term with DeFi, because a lot of the DeFi guys like to call it DeFi, but it doesn't matter what you call it. The question is the service acting in the best interest of the community? Is it replacing toll collectors and centralized institutions who are all just focused on grabbing as much money as possible for themselves and their shareholders, with something new that is acting in your best interest? You the depositor, right? And the fact that Celsius, for example, delivers 100 times more than your bank pays you, right? We pay 10% and most banks pay 0.1%. Shows you not how good we are, but rather how bad the banks are at what they're doing, how they're taking all their customers for granted, right? And that's why we have an opportunity. So MOIP is only successful because the traditional institutions failed us, and we need reliable, scalable blockchains on which we can deliver a lot of these services. And I think that's where most people are confused. They think that Bitcoin can do everything or Ethereum can do everything. And really, again, Celsius is not here to pick winners or losers. We are enabling the community to thrive, and each chain has its own specialty and its own unique capabilities that's going to bring different type of utility for the customers, for these billions of people who are going to join us. And just like we use different platforms for voice over IP, right? We use Zoom and we use Skype and we use WhatsApp, and different applications do different things. The same way, different chains are going to deliver different utility for these many users. So that's my view of kind of where we're going to. And we're still in the experimentation phase, right? We're still kind of trying to figure out what are those utilities, how are they going to be implemented, what are the security and transparency that is involved in that, and how do we really transition this decentralization? How do we move from centralization to decentralization, from the fiat world to the crypto world? And how do we build bridges between those two platforms? Because I think a lot of people are confused thinking, oh, it's got to be pure DeFi. No, pure DeFi is an island to itself. All the money in the world is still sitting in fiat. So how do we bring all that value over and show people a better way?
And a lot of people that are perhaps new to cryptocurrency, they still don't understand how everything works. And when you say you get 100 times greater return through Celsius Network compared to a traditional bank, a lot of people, their immediate thoughts will be, oh, well, that must be a scam. How can that be possible? But as you said, it's, perhaps the banks that have been taking advantage of us all these years, and perhaps they're the ones scamming people by taking our money and then over lending it and then charging a huge amounts of interest to our money which they lend out. So it's really great that you're giving 80% of your revenue back to the customers. Really incredible. To alleviate some concerns about security and insurance, are there any protections in place for people that hold their assets on your platform?
Yeah, so definitely, we're not a bank, we're not a financial institution, so we don't use the traditional systems like FDIC, for example, in the United States, or in Australia. There's a different system, and each country has its own kind of like system that's supposed to bail out the banks when they fail. And if you look at the FDIC, just go to their website, fdic.org, or .gov, sorry, fdic.gov, and you scroll all the way down. They'll show you how much they have in assets, and $61 billion. And sounds like a lot of money, but the US financial systems has tens of trillions of dollars that it needs to protect. So the FDIC couldn't bail out even one of the top 10 banks. It doesn't have enough money to bail out any of the top 10 banks in the United States if they fail or if they have any kind of problem. So the financial system today is really based on us, the people, we the people, meaning the taxpayers, bailing out or bailing in the basically the user base. For example, we've seen that in Cyprus when there was a problem. Basically, the banks just grabbed their customers' money and did a bail-in. The government of Australia just passed laws that legally allow banks now, as of I think today, to bail in the banks, meaning the banks can, tomorrow morning they can grab as much money as they want from you, and there's nothing you can do legally to get it back. So really, there is no protection. All this protection we thought exists doesn't exist, because when they print money, it's our money that they're printing. And when there's a problem, they either bail in or they use our money to bail out. So the crypto community is what's called a self-insured model. So you're relying basically on the fact that most of the players have enough capital, or that they have insurance from third parties, not like FDIC, but more of like basically, if there's a bug in the software, or a rogue employee did something wrong, or a transaction was done in error and it was sent to somebody who was a scammer, or or a thief, those are kind of protected under different insurance policies. So we have insurance for our hot wallet, for our cold wallet, and we buy insurance on our counterparties. But we do not have any of the kind of mandated government or bank programs that, because we're not a bank, right? We don't have a license like a bank. So the yield, just to explain, you touched on this, paying more than 100%, 100 times more than a bank. So just look at any bank out there. Again, look at what they pay you when you make a deposit and how much charge you when you take a loan. So if you use your credit card, you're actually borrowing money from the bank. And if they charge you 19 or 20 or 25%, they take the same money that they paid 0.1% on it and effectively lend it out at 24%. So there's no reason why a bank is not paying you 10 or even 15%. They're still going to be profitable, even if they paid you 10%. They just choose to not give you that and give you 0.1% because they can get away with it, because every other bank on the street is paying the same amount. So there's zero reason for them to compete against themselves by offering higher rates. So what DeFi does, what MOIP does, is creates a new source of income that will put pressure on the banks to really pay fair value. And the prices that Celsius and many other companies now provide, we have plenty of copycats to Celsius, even though we created this whole category. All of us are effectively creating competition for the banks and are going to eventually force them to pay fair value, just like we forced the phone companies to stop charging you and me $3 a minute to call each other. And now they have to offer us all these VoIP services effectively for free, because the cost to make this communication between me and you right now is zero. So they either want to offer it and be in business and charge you zero for it, or they will go out of business. Same thing with banks. So I see the entire banking business eventually migrating to look much more like MOIP than what it is today.
Thank you so much, Alex, for your tremendous insights. Yeah, it's been great having you on. So thank you and good luck with the journey with Celsius Network. And I look forward to seeing how things develop further and continue to grow, and looking forward to seeing all the great new things you end up doing with Horizen.
Yeah, and thanks for having me on. We're really excited about the partnership. We'll be announcing also the launch and adding ZEN to the wallet. So all these things are coming, and really excited about the cooperation we're having.